As sea level continues to rise, the question is whether or not we can keep up with it.
Singer Island is a very interesting place. It's sort of a window into the future of all the issues we're going to be facing on Florida's beaches in the future. Behind me, past this seawall, is a mile of high-rise condominiums, now all protected by seawalls. This is an area of Florida that has been designated as critically eroding, and that designation doesn't even consider storm events or future sea level rise. Despite that, we continue to build high-rise condominiums on this highly erosive beach. Seawalls are becoming much more common as a strategy in Florida to protect properties along the beach that were initially built too close to the water. Somewhere between 15 and 24% of Florida's beaches are now lined with concrete and wooden seawalls.
By putting a barrier on the beach, it impedes that natural accretion and erosion, which is so critical to the barrier islands here, and also causes erosion on adjacent areas to the armoring structures.
Armoring isn't a complete solution, nor is it a preferred solution, because generally you transfer negative impacts downstream.
Building seawalls is about the worst thing you can do if you're trying to protect your beaches. Seawalls enhance erosion. You start a never-ending cycle. The beach erodes, you build a seawall, your neighbor's property erodes because of the seawall that you just built, then they build a seawall, destroying the beach in the process of protecting their personal property.
In the absence of addressing the issues of encroachment by construction has been to nourish the beach. That is, to dredge it up, put sand on the beach.
Beach nourishment, since about the 1970s, has become the preferred management tool by which to restore our eroding shorelines. Right now, the state of Florida provides about $30 million per year on average to fund beach nourishment, and that's matched with about another $30 million from local municipalities, and between $10 and $40 million in occasional federal funding. That's not enough to keep up with increasing rates of sea level rise. It's estimated that state funding on the order of closer to $60 million will be necessary to sustain our beaches as sea level continues to rise and accelerate.
Bulldozers and pipes, as you can see, have taken over the beach.
As long as we are able to nourish beaches, we can push back the time at which we have to really address the tough issues that have to be tackled in terms of erosion and coastal construction. That time is coming too, because ironically enough, Florida, which is a state which is made out of sand and water, is running out of both. And in South Florida now, it's becoming increasingly difficult to find available sand for nourishment, and we're facing the prospect of sand wars between local governments, particularly counties, as they seek to push back the high tide, push back the sea, using nourishment as what I would call our default policy right now.
Long term, that is a relatively unsustainable policy unless we combine it with lots of other things, like moving landward when we can, less building of seawalls. Putting sand on the beach forever on more and more of Florida's sandy beaches is going to get much more expensive and much more difficult as the seas continue to rise.